flax on my cock. You were worried, weren't you? Yeah. Something about your face just says, I've got a warrant now for my arrest. You're good, sir. Stay right where you're at. Good. Yeah, somebody tried to hurt my feelings recently, and they were like, you look like one of the cops that let Jeffrey Dahmer get away. That shit did hurt my feelings too. It was a little 9-year-old kid. I was like, I didn't even know this shit. No, the real reason for the haircut and the mustache is because this is the only facial hair the U.S. government will allow me to have. I'm actually in the Navy full-time. I'm in the Navy full-time, and I'm stationed right up here on Tinker. And if you're wondering, well, what is the U.S. Navy doing here in Oklahoma? Don't worry, I'm wondering the same fucking thing. No, it's pretty cool. I've been in for about 10 years now, and you know, at this point, it's kind of like, do I want to stay in? Do I want to get out? And the reason I only think about getting out is because, you know, there's still a lot of stuff I don't understand. Like how do we do our physical fitness tests? So for those of you that don't know, to pass through boot camp, you have to do a 1.5-mile run, as many push-ups you can do, and now you got to hold a plank for some days. You have to do that to graduate through boot camp. The second you graduate, you can decide you want to do an elliptical bike instead of a run. Oh yeah, like nothing wrong with you. Like 18 years old, just, I don't feel like running anymore. And you can do that for the rest of your career. Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I've seen quite a few war movies. I've never seen anybody hop on a unicycle and ride. A lot of people think the military makes a lot of money. I'm here to tell you that that is not correct, which is why I'm here on a Saturday afternoon. Now, with the economy the way that it is, like I'm spent a lot of time thinking about ways to save money, and I think I finally have it figured out. But it only applies if you have kids. So if that's you, make some noise. Right? The secret is you have to tell your kids that you're Jehovah's Witnesses. Hear me out on this, okay? You got no more birthday presents to buy. No more Christmas presents, no more expensive Halloween costumes. I just say you're like an average of $750 a year, and that doesn't even graze the surface. Probably one of the ways you can save the most money is that when they get older, you're not going to have to worry about teenage pregnancy. Not just because sex in that religion is outlawed until marriage, but your kids are going to be so weird and awkward from not going to people's birthday parties and shit, no one is going to want to fuck them anyways. I really appreciate that, miss. I was a Jehovah's Witness for 15 years, and all I got from it was that one joke, so thank you. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. They're like, you're so cool now. Like, what happened? It's not, it's their words, not mine. And I get why it's hard to understand, because there are so many rules. So you can look it up after the show. Somebody made a list. It's 144 things Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to do. And I picked out my two personal favorites. You're not allowed to do any type of combat sports, any type of boxing, martial arts, anything like that. So on top of being weird and awkward as fuck, you're also going to get beat up all the time. I learned that one the hard way. And my personal favorite, you're not allowed to attend Alcoholics Anonymous. So, if you have a fucking drinking problem, you just stay an alcoholic, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. That's what my dad did, at least. Real quick, before I go any farther, I gotta ask y'all a question. How do y'all feel about my outfit? Is this good? Thank you. I really appreciate that, because this is all thrifted. I got any thrift queens in the house tonight? Any Marshalls mommies? TJ Maxx? Bitches? I don't know. I love going to the damn thrift store, man. This whole outfit cost me like $8. My wife was saying to me as I was getting ready this afternoon, she was like, do you realize that every article of clothing you own either came from a thrift store or is a hand-me-down from a dead relative. I thought about it for a few seconds. I was like, no, she's right. Y'all see these shoes I got on? These belong to my Uncle Bill. I mean, I didn't like pull him off of his body at the funeral or anything like that. I'm savage. Everybody makes fun of me. They're like, oh, you got the old man shoes on again. I'm like, yeah, they're orthopedics in my back. They're fucking great. So I kind of prefer it that way. Like wearing dead relatives' clothes. Because the question you gotta ask yourself is, do you want to be the type of person that's like, oh, I got a $200 pair of pants on, or a $300 pair of shoes? Or would you rather be able to say, a lot of people had to die for me to wear this tonight? I am trying to take a little bit better care of myself. I just turned 30 this year. Yeah, I know. She's over there thinking, that motherfucker looks bad for 30. No, I am trying to take a little bit better care of myself just because, you know, I turned 30 and one thing that I noticed was I was drinking a lot. I'm actually trying to go sober now, 45 days sober. So for those of y'all whose math isn't as good as mine, I had a good time over 6 weeks. No, I used to drink way, way too much. And it got so bad at one point, my wife says to me, if you keep drinking like this, you're going to end up just like that. Now my dad, he was a terrible alcoholic, like absolutely horrible. Like, he was the type that he would drink up all the liquor in the house, and when he would run out, he would drink anything that had alcohol was. I'm talking like mouthwash, hand sanitizer. Which is really sad until you realize his breath smelled wonderful. He had these big white Steve Harvey teeth in his mouth. 4 out of 5 dentists were like, I can't explain this shit. And unfortunately, he died about a year and a half ago. Most people are like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, if you drink Germex and Listerine all the time, and it's weird going to the funeral because there was so much that I didn't know about him. Just we didn't have much of a relationship, so I learned a lot about him at the funeral. Like how one time, he completely shattered the bone in his leg, jumping out of a 3rd-story window while running from the police. Oh yeah, he was wild. That happened like right after I was born. Like the window he jumped out of was the 3rd-story maternity ward. Our first family picture together is my mom is holding me, and there's this alcoholic blood running down the frame like this. The reason I bring that up is, you know, with me being the next of kin, after the funeral, we were at the crematorium. They're like, Mr. Dunn, I don't know if you're aware, but your father, he had a pretty severe leg break at one point in time. And he had an 8-inch titanium rod inserted in his leg that fused the bone. Now, when we push him into the furnace, that's not going to burn up. Do you want to keep it? I thought about it for a few seconds. It's fucking weird. No, what am I going to do with this? Let's just put it like this, okay? My daughter now has a really cool kickstand on her bicycle. Hey, I told y'all I'm cheap.